I've spoken before 3 presidents of the United States, and it doesn't make me nervous to speak anywhere except when I speak at home, because I'm not going to run into the president at the grocery store, and I might see one of y'all at Kroger. It's also very difficult to do 15 minutes or less. I could talk for an hour or so, but 15 minutes or less is very difficult. I'm here as the sweet potato queen because I think I'm probably the embodiment of the term creative economy. I could tell you anything, I could make up anything at the moment about sweet potato queenism and tell it to you, because there's literally no one in the world who could refute it or dispute it, because I made it all up and do so on a continuing basis. But we're hoping that something about my life experience might be of benefit to some of y'all. Let me start by telling you, you cannot always get what you want. Actually, hardly ever can you get what you want. But the sooner you get over that, the sooner you will realize that you already have what you need. Now, I believe that one of the greatest skills we can have in this life is the ability to make your own fun. Many times, all you've got to work with is what's between your own ears. If you're lucky, that's enough. I've been extraordinarily gifted in that department. My entire life, all I ever wanted to be, the only ambition I have ever had in life, was to be 5'2", have long red hair, green eyes, large breasts, little feet, and be able to sing. It has not worked out. I'm 6'1", standing in a hole. This is my natural hair color. I have not paid to have it dyed gray. I'm not wearing a minimizer bra. The day I figure out how to wear 2 Wonder Bras, I'm going for it. My feet, I've always been glad there was that much folded under, otherwise I would be 7'9". And I might could carry a tune if the bucket was big enough, so I never got anything that I wanted. The bad part about that, besides the obvious, is that because I didn't get anything that I wanted, I spent a great deal of my youth feeling like I didn't get anything. Those of us who've been in therapy can tell you, this is not a good place to be. My problem was exacerbated by the fact that I had a very Southern Sunday school upbringing, probably like a lot of y'all, where they really just hammered home on that wretched parable of the talents. You know, the one that some got more than others, but everybody got at least one. And you should not hide your light under a bushel. I didn't know what my light was, let alone my bushel. And so I never got anything that I wanted, and this was problematic growing up. And because I had no plan B for what I wanted to be when I grew up or otherwise, the default setting on that was that I had a whole bunch of jobs that I hated. One in particular really hated the job but loved the man that I worked for. His name was Frank Mastronardi. Mr. M was a positive mental attitude junkie. Therefore, I have heard every word ever spoken by Zig Ziglar, Norman Vincent Peale, W. Clement Stone, all those guys. And one thing that they all said in common that really struck a chord with me was that you should do what makes your heart sing, and the money will follow. That really resonated with me. But I was 19 and working in the credit department at Sears when I heard that. So it didn't really work out for me there. Not a lot of heart singing going on at Sears. But when I left there, and I did leave there, I took that with me. I was looking for what would make my heart sing. Now, since I didn't turn out to be Reba McEntire, it was time to do a little assessment, since we are biblically told that we did all get some special gift from our Creator. I had to do some self-examination to see what I might have gotten here with, and it turned out I got more than one. I can smile, showing nearly every tooth in my head at nothing. I can do it for a long time. If I've had a couple drinks, you can see every tooth. I can wave equally well with either hand while smiling, often not as easy as it looks. I can form an opinion that fast about virtually anything in the universe with literally no information whatsoever. Actually, prefer it that way. I find facts to be very cumbersome things I'm really not interested in. I know enough and have forgotten more than I ever needed. And people will mind me. I have no idea why. Perhaps it's because I'm huge and they're afraid. I really don't care why. I only care that they do. But there has not been a job description written yet looking for me. I'm totally unemployable with the skill set that I have. And so, but I was determined to use the gifts that I got here with. And so I had an aha moment then when I happened to see a photograph of my own personal mother next to a photograph of Queen Elizabeth of England. And they're like identical twins. Seriously, it's very weird. They look exactly alike. And you add to that the fact that my mother was adopted from unknown biological parentage. And I thought, aha, we are some kind of lost bastards. So the Windsors, they are probably looking for me right now. I was sent here to be a queen because, as far as I can tell, that's all she do. And well, that did not work out. Okay, as it turns out, they are not looking for. There's no future for me in the United Kingdom or any other royal family. But I knew I was supposed to be a queen, so I was looking for a gig. And by and by, in 1982, I saw my chance. Malcolm White, our state tourism director, saw fit to create a new parade in Jackson, and that this is my chance. And I didn't hesitate, partly because Daddy always brought us, he puts spectating on a sin level. Said that if there's anything going on that you're in any way capable of participating in, you have a moral obligation to do so, and that you should do what you will wish you had done when you're 50. Now, when I heard that, I was probably 12 or 13 and thought, good Lord, who would want to live to be that old? Now, having left 50 in the dirt some time ago, but my whole life, whenever I had a choice to make, should I do it or not, I figured, whatever it was by the time I was 50, I would wish I had done it. So I did. And as I said, 50 is dead and buried, but I have moved that up now to the nursing home. What do I reckon I will wish I had done by the time I get to the nursing home? And it is my goal in life to be the most popular one in the nursing home. And I don't think you can just start, when you get there, you got to get a pretty good head of steam going on your way. I'll start with candy, but I'm prepared to sleep with everyone there if necessary, thus ensuring the popularity. I have spent a lot of time in nursing homes in recent years, and I can tell you without fear of any contradiction, there ain't nobody in any nursing home anywhere sitting there going, I wish I had served on a few more committees or dusted those stairs a few more times, okay? Nobody is wishing that. So I had no hesitation about jumping into Malcolm's new parade. I declared myself to be the sweet potato queen because I thought it sounded funny and still do. I did it that year, got 3 other girls to do it with me who were somewhat confused by they didn't have the vision for it that I did. I just thought this was going to be the best thing. We had a green pickup truck with a cardboard signs on the side with potato misspelled. I'm the speller, did not make the signs. And we smiled and waved and threw sweet potatoes. And it was the most fun I ever had in my life. And so I did it every year thereafter for 17 more years there, getting new crews every year. It really wasn't until I got the outfits that it kind of gelled for everybody else. But so you'll meet a lot of people that were a sweet potato queen one time. But I did it every year for the first 17 years, basically unnoticed. I mean, it was, but it was honing the skills that I was coming to need in my future career as the leader and object of a worldwide cult, and which is what I have been for the last 16 years. There are people who come, the Queendom is an amazing thing, and you know, there are people who come from all, and I say people because it's not just women. The Queendom, we have not found a line that we do not cross. We are men, women, gay, straight, young, old, black, white, rich, poor, drunk, sober, married, single, whatever. We have blind people, we have people in wheelchairs. I have a dead woman. Seriously, there was a queen in Arizona who loved the parade more than anything and died. And one of her friends, I don't have all of her, but I have a box of her, a fancy box with one of her hats on it. And she rides on the float every year. We parade dead people. So when I say there is no line, there is no line. And that is one of my favorite things about the Queendom, is I think we are one of the most inclusive non-organizations in the world. I saw one of the first speakers I saw said, you know, maybe it was Kermit that said, you know, there's only one rule and that's everybody's voice counts. I only have one rule, and that is whatever I say, whenever I say it, as fast as you can with a big grin on your face. Other than that, I don't care what you do. And so, little different from Kermit's rule. But these people come here every year. I started I started the Sweet Potato Queens when I was 30 years old. When I was 47, my first book was published, Sweet Potato Queens Book of Love. And today there are about 6,400 chapters of Sweet Potato Queen groups in 37 countries. There's a chapter in Saudi Arabia. Their motto is no veils for us. Gotta love them, hope they live in a bunker, I'm terrified for them. But when you think about it, that these people take time off work, they buy some very expensive, there's a chapter in Indonesia that comes. Now that's a plane ticket and a plane ride, I'm telling you. They buy plane tickets, they come and stay in our hotels, they eat in our restaurants, they drink in our bars a lot. They shop in our stores, and they come to Jackson, Mississippi every year, the fourth weekend in March now, for Fondren Zippity Doodah weekend, for no other reason than to dress up funny and walk down the streets of Fondren with me. Tells us they are highly motivated, easily led, lots of disposable income, and possibly too much time on their hands, but they are my people, and I do love them. Now, people ask me all the time, did you ever think when you started this that it would turn into something like this? And I say, yes, it was my 5-year plan. No, I didn't think. How could I have thought of that? What if that had been my plan? Okay, it was hard enough to get people to dress up in their sister's 1964 prom dress and ride in the back of a pickup truck and smile and wave and throw sweet potatoes, just because I thought it would be fun. If I had said, okay, do this with me because I am going to become the leader and object of a cult. No takers at all. I do question myself frequently as to how many more years can I do this. I've been doing this 33 years. I will be 62 in about 2 weeks. And then I think about Aunt Faye. Aunt Faye is one of our queens from Midland, Texas. Aunt Faye started parading with us when she was 88. All of her female family comes with her. It's her daughters, her granddaughters, her great-granddaughters, her nieces and great-nieces. All of them come with her, and they all come from Midland, Texas every year. When she was 94, they got her a bright yellow T-shirt that says, I'm Aunt Faye, I'm 94. And they all have the same T-shirt that just says, I'm with Aunt Faye. And really, that weekend, that's all you need. Well, you know, at 94, nobody, probably including you, is really giving a whole lot of thought and time and money to your wardrobe. And because realistically, how many more years are you going to need it? So And specifically not for parade outfits for once a year. And so for the next several years, they would come and Aunt Faye would have the same t-shirt, same yellow t-shirt. I'm Aunt Faye, I'm 94. They would just cross it out with a Sharpie. 95, 96, 97, got down to 99 on Aunt Faye's t-shirt. We gave her nothing for 99. Okay, but at the bathrobe brunch on Sunday morning, that's the closing event of the weekend, we announced that the next year, in honor of Aunt Faye's 100th birthday, the theme of the parade was going to be, there's still a lot of zippity in our doodahs, and we wanted Aunt Faye to be our grand marshal, and she just jumped up and threw her little arms up and said, oh dear God, I hope I don't die before I get to do that. And she did not die. She did get to come. The first year that she came was the first year that we were doing in Fondren. And Dr. Batson, Blair Batson, for whom the hospital is named, was our grand marshal. And Aunt Faye wanted to know if he was single. And, Aunt Faye is waiting for me to die because she wants my husband. Okay, seriously. If she could contribute to my early demise, she would do so. She is a mean little woman. At any rate, so when I think about how many more years I might be doing this, and I go, I'm going to be 62, I go, oh, crap. Aunt Faye will be 102. So I have 40 years and counting, at least, more years to do this. I hope that my life and experience can teach something. I always pray before I speak that I'll say something that somebody needs to hear. About the talent thing. Everybody really did get here with something. It's probably not what you wanted. Hardly ever is. But don't disparage it. You know how kids are always doing something stupid and wanting you to watch them? I'm a terrible soccer mom. I don't care what they're doing. I don't want to watch them. But when my daughter was little, she would do something goofy and, watch me, Mama, and I would watch, but I was very cynical and I would say, it's cute, honey, but I don't think it's marketable. But I had to quit saying that because this is what I got. So whatever you got, use it for yourself and the betterment of all mankind. If I could get you to do only one thing, if I could get you to play, it would change your life. And I'm not talking about sports, anything with a bat and ball, anything competitive. I'm talking about acting stupid, playing, giggling, laughing, playing like you did when you were children. Actual university studies, more than one, you can Google it, have proven that play is as important to your health and well-being as food, clothing, and shelter. Life is hard on a good day. I don't care who you are. And the dressing up funny and acting stupid like we do know it's stupid. Okay, makes it possible for you to step outside yourself for just a little while and become somebody else that doesn't have a worthless ex-husband or a child in therapy or breast cancer, whatever it is that you're dealing with. And it makes you just a little bit stronger spiritually to go back and tote that load when you have to. In my experience, the load will be there when you go back. No one will come and get it while you're gone playing. Choice is the most important word in our language. If you ain't loving your life, change it. Life is too short and too long to spend it doing anything that doesn't make your heart sing. Whatever it is that you're dealing with in life, whether it's something really hard that you're struggling to overcome, or something wonderful that you're working really hard to accomplish, the task at hand will not ever be greater than the power of God to help you achieve it, and the will of God will not ever put you in a situation where the grace of God is insufficient to your need. Dreams are very important, but as dreams, they are totally, completely worthless. I can tell you from my own experience, it is infinitely better to live your dreams than it is to just dream them. And the first time I ever rode in the back of that pickup truck and smiled and waved and threw sweet potatoes, I did say out loud, somebody will pay me to do this. As far as I know, I'm the world's only full-time professional sweet potato queen. I believe that laughter and sex and chocolate are three of the greatest blessings we're given as human beings. And if my work can bring a little bit of any or all of that to your lives, then that is my contribution to world peace, and you are welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you.